I'm gonna do something a little different. I'm gonna read something that I wrote last night when I was sleeping. It's about the character of you. There's three stages of the character as far as I see it. There's the author, which is not necessarily secret but hidden because you don't see the author in life, but it's still you, your character. And then these are also somewhat tied to personality types. And then there's the actor or director, which is one that's dictating of life to others. Um, that's also part of your character. And then there's the audience. And that's where most folks are, but we all are in all three stages all the time. It's just which one is our kind of default mode. And the audience is taking in information and basically propelling the information back out. All of us are doing that. The audience, that's their its core responsibility. The actor director's responsibility is to transmute and pass on the information, the message, and the author's message is basically to provide some type of directive, and that's always intertwined with the one core story of what we all are and what we're doing here. It's all just one story. So the author is just rewriting that one story in slightly different forms. That's the passage of the meaning of everything. That's the passage of your life, and that's the meaning behind every book and every movie and every song. It's just what it is. Can't not be. Um, so you have the actor, you have the author, the actor, and the audience. And then the fourth stage is the aware. And the aware is aware that I, as character, are those three, and that character is not the entirety of mind, and mind is not this bad thing, and character is not the entirety of ego, and ego is not this bad thing. But the character is playing its role, and we get stuck in character. And if we go to the aware, which is hard to do because character is always in default mode, and default mode can mold and change through our life. It will, but we get stuck there and we forget the way back to the aware. We want to just press a button, but we're so tied into the mechanism we have going on. I want to talk a little bit about the base types of mechanisms that keep us there. But the character view is not manifesting this place. It's your awareness. Become more of your awareness, and more of your fulfillment will appear. I've never read anything uh, on screen, so I don't really like doing that. But I just want to get this out, see how it goes. The character of you is not manifesting. Character of you is getting in the way. And I'm talking to myself, everyone, in all times. And the default mode is when we kind of go underwater and we're in that character, and it's just like we're so deep in it. Now we're just entrenched in the density of life and society, and there's no way out. We kind of forget there's a way out, but we don't really feel good about it. And it takes us a day or 6 weeks or 6 minutes or whatever it is to like, oh, what? Ugh. Lots of people live there the majority of their life. So a character is not where you want to be, but you don't want to fight it either. It's that we support our character by living more in the aware and then watching our character and giving true directive to the author and actor and audience of our character. It's all us. But without giving the proper directive, what ends up happening is because our species operates in a way that's not taught in school, and we are connected with a neural network. We are connected with a collective unconscious neural network that I'm not getting this from Rupert Sheldrake, but he speaks about it with morphic resonance. Just in general, we're connected. And there's levels and layers of density of connection in the etheric and the energy. And we don't speak to each other necessarily that way consciously. Some can. But we are growing together in that method. So we're always connected unless we intentionally separate, which is part of the rites of passage, which is what's required for everyone at least once in their life. If you die before you die, then you no longer are scared of death. Thou must, or thou lives in fear. That's it. So we have this collective unconscious that's providing information in over and over and over and over, and it's getting information put in from another subgroup. And that information becomes part of the accepted field of the unconscious that we all suck into. And we all propel energy back into. And so that information is fed into us regardless, and that becomes the information that goes into the author and then the actor, and then we're in the audience stage of our like numbed out, cut off character. And we're just taking that shit in. And we're propelling it back out because we propel out the same information via energy that our superconscious, self-conscious, unconscious, lower unconscious provides in a drip mechanism down to our subconscious, and our subconscious projects it out. And those are the events of feedback that provide us the awareness of how this place works. And this place is always providing feedback to us. This place is feeding back your energy to you so you can realize what you are capable of, which is expanding your belief structure. Yeah, I'm probably not going to read ever again after this one time, but I already started, so I'll finish it. I don't like those. I like writing. I don't like reading when I'm writing. It feels too separate. But that's true. This place is feeding back your energy to you so you can realize what you are capable of. And what you're capable of is expanding your belief structure. You are limitless. Not a little bit. Not kind of, not in a certain spot, not as far as you can see right now, not in this big question mark. You are limitless divine spirit energy. So, I'm going to read what I wrote, see how it goes. The character of you is not manifesting anything. It is your core energy awareness in tune with the all that does so. Your belief structure is what limits and unlimits your ability to allow certain manifestations. Most characters attached to society are running around touching things, trying to fit in and get ahead in a game they don't comprehend. All in society are connected to a loop of feedback energy from the collective unconscious, which is constantly programming a certain frequency. Therefore, most people's characters end up trying too hard without the capacity to accomplish what they desire. It's about separating from the character on a consistent basis because the character is operating under repetition. Information in and repetition. Character's just doing what's told, including the author of the character, the actor of the character, the audience of the character. There's no better or worse. It's just how I see that we're operating. So what I'm suggesting I'm really talking to myself, but I think I feel clearly that it applies to everyone at every level, including every God, everything, everywhere. That the physical embodiment requires the first stage being breathe and release the character momentarily. It's really hard to remember that we are the aware when we're tight inside. Really hard to remember. And somebody can tell you, and you can tell you. I've told myself thousands of times, I am divine, limitless spirit. I am aware. I still feel tight, tight inside. I don't know I feel tight until I actually make myself do the thing of breathing, of getting into meditation, of letting go little by little by little. And then all of a sudden I feel I am a world separated from the tightness that I was carrying around. And this isn't like a once a week. This is as much as you are constantly being tight and being the character, it's that much that you must practice being the aware. It's not something that overtakes your life. It's something that creates a better life for you. It's the greatest thing you can do. It's getting you to be you. So breathe and release the character momentarily. Create that sliver of separation for yourself to be able to just go and see yourself as character and forgive everything and forgive yourself and allow that to be there. And so, okay, there's no finger pointing, there's no getting mad at anybody else. Everything in your life is part of what you have the opportunity to continue to create as a thread of what's there or to create an entirely new thread. So you are powerful. It doesn't feel powerful when you are the character. Slip into the awareness. Breathe and release the character momentarily. Just momentarily. The more you do that, truthfully, the greater your life is. The more you do that, the more you realize within yourself that you are limitless. The more you do that, the more opportunity you have to create what it is that is your fulfilled purpose. It's not that there's one thing, one purpose. It's that currently you have access to the awareness of you and the imagination of your heart, and your heart is the prism of your soul, in my opinion. And so if you just cut out everything, forgive everything, forgive yourself, and that naturally will let everything go. Be in connection with love, the singular one love, the creation of all. And then you just sit in that simplicity of the awareness and you ask your heart, something shall appear. And then that thing, put that thing with the intention of this is bringing me toward my purpose. And you will have purpose going to it. And then as you go down that road, a new purpose may emerge. But living a life without directed purpose is not living a life of wandering. It's living a life as an information slave to a collective unconscious that is feeding on your energy. It's not scary. It's not terrible. It's not something that we must avoid. It's just not what I want. I desire to fulfill my desires. I desire to fulfill my purpose. And so I must continue to operate as a spirit awareness of divine limitless energy that has an embodiment and gets trapped in this character perspective and gets frustrated and tight and then must remember. The more I remember, the greater I am. The more I remember and the greater I am when I apply that gnosis of memory into wisdom efficiently over and over and over and over. Not just knowing I'm awareness, not just practicing it, but doing it all day long, over and over and over in me, because that's where everything happens. The only time anything has ever happened to you has been in your perspective of you. It can't happen somewhere else. And basically every sage ever has said that. It feels like you live in this big world and the world doesn't revolve around you. But the trick is that actually you live in your world. And then there are other worlds on worlds on worlds that are feeding on your energy and are also feeding energy into your world. But you live in your world. And we tend to feel small in our worlds because we've been told that our worlds are not it. But it can never not be your world. That's how it works. You live in your world. So thou must take care of their world and them, you, and then begin to grow that energy into something that is abundantly magnificent, that can affect in a great way the energy of the other worlds that it's touching, the other embodiments, the other unconscious collective, the other forms of society, whatever. You have to grow to a place that you are strong enough within yourself, because it's all internal, that you can provide a greater frequency and that your frequency isn't dumbed down or isn't manipulated or controlled, not in the malevolent way, but just in general by information coming in. That you grow yourself to a place where your frequency is providing a greater manipulation based on your belief structure into the other worlds, into the other auras of human embodiment, into the other um, social factions, groups, and greater collective unconscious. That your resonance is affecting the resonance of others in a way that lifts them up. Because currently, most folks, and it's changing over the last 40 or so years I've been alive or been here, but currently, still, most folks are looking for some type of health, looking for some type of remedy, looking for some type of law, looking for some type of maybe slightly anti-government, but most are still touched in like Republican, Democrat, or some like red, blue, or some Christian, non-Christian, or something, right? Jews, Muslims, whatever it is, and that's all tomfoolery. It's you. So to get back to this, the character of you is not manifesting anything. Is your core energy awareness in tune with the all that does so? Your belief structure is what limits or unlimits your ability to allow certain manifestations. Most characters attached to society are running around touching things, trying to fit in and get ahead in a game they don't comprehend. All in society are connected to a loop of feedback energy from the collective unconscious, which is constantly programming a certain frequency. Therefore, most people's characters end up trying too hard without the capacity to accomplish what they desire. It's out of order, and their frequency is basically being controlled to a certain point because they're not in control themselves. Breathe and release the character momentarily. So that's where we were. See what your heart says. That's where you'll find your core desires. Your desires are fulfillment in your purpose. It is the real you that is capable of manifesting your purpose by magnetizing your character to it and then walking toward it. So your awareness magnetizes your character to your heart's purpose. Most people get caught trying to make it happen from the position of the character. Become the aware, manifest from there. Dictate to your character. Then you, as your character in default mode, will have a greater default mode based on the repetition of you becoming the aware and and repeating the heart's purpose over and over and over and focusing on that intent attention. Then you, as your character in default mode, will have a greater default mode in line with your higher purpose. So your character will have a new trajectory and be looking at a new thing. So you'll literally be reprogramming yourself, your character. Your awareness is already there, just how much of it is being tapped into. Because that's the access to the real you. You don't get out of the character by trying hard or doing something. You find awareness by letting go. So, we're talking about the Hermetic principles. A lot of that, in my opinion, some may want to add certain things here or there or negate something, but the Hermetic principles are pretty close to summing up the base core functionality of this realm. And then the Eightfold Path gives an individual a very solid guideline of how to operate for themselves of building their life. So those are two different things. The Hermetic principles are telling you how this place already works. And then the Eightfold Path is saying, all right, you have these things inside you that you desire or who you're meant to be, or whatever it is that's pulling you in a certain direction. This is a path to get you there. Listen to these guides. So one of the Hermetic principles is resonance or frequency or vibration. And those are all the same thing, but the way I describe them is slightly separate. So vibration is everything's vibrating constantly, everywhere, no matter what. And vibration is this on a tiny, tiny frame. And then your frequency is literally the frequencies coming off of the exact vibration. So they're coming off in every direction off of the vibration. So as the vibration changes, the frequency coming off changes. It's tuning to a different frequency. So the frequency accessibility is already there, but the vibration is dictating what frequency is connected to and where it's being sent. Not where it's being sent, but in what direction, what frequency is being sent. Okay? So vibration, it's not that one causes the other. It's just that they're always here no matter what, and that's how they work together, in my opinion. Vibration and then frequency connecting to and coming off vibration. So vibration is dictating the frequency that's being passed. And then around the vibration is the resonance. So resonance is like an aura, kind of a bending shape of maybe a toroid or a spherical or oval shape. And that resonance is whatever concept is being held within that core vibration, and then how it is attempting to be given to others. So you can use that for the example of what's considered to be the Big Bang, which I think is greatly oversimplified and erroneous, but that something along those lines happened just a little bit closer to uh, magic than what current science wants to project it as. I'm extremely confident it's actually the creative general principle. But the resonance is also you. The resonance is a message that one wants to get out to anyone else in any way. The resonance is what I'm attempting to describe now. The resonance is why people um, chase the dragon, drinking or with certain sex or with drugs, or even they like the high of playing on stage or being a stand-up comedian, whatever. It's the resonance that they're attempting to have within them and then give to someone else, and then receive that feedback back over and over and over again. So everything is number representing letter. This can be sacred geometry, this can be architecture, this can be just the the layout of how this place works. This is all communication in every facet, clairvoyant to different species to different worlds, doesn't matter. It's all the same. Number represents letter, or math represents language. It's all encoded within each other. Letter represents symbol. Symbol represents intent. Intent represents resonance. Everything is an attempt to communicate resonance. And so when the character of you is attempting to change something, that have come across some information, they're attempting to be this leader of their own life, but they're consistently being operated on 95% with information coming in from society. It's extremely hard to raise their resonance because the information coming in is of a certain frequency, and that frequency goes both ways, and it literally over time changes their vibration. That's on an individual basis, your individual world. Also, the collective unconscious is a scary place to some because they don't want to be there, but it's a very safe place to most because it holds a certain frequency so it doesn't go too low. It's constant repetition of fear, but they're fucking used to it. It does not let the frequency of the general normal population go too low. It keeps it in a semi-low state, but not absolutely catastrophe. And so the collective unconscious is of a certain resonance. And then the information of collective unconscious, which is coming in through our neural networks to each other, and if it's directly coming into us from a screen or whatever, then that is coming in of a certain frequency. And that information, all information is energy. Everything is energy, therefore, that energy is of a certain frequency, and that is then influencing your vibration. Your vibration is then in tune with the resonance of you, which is your world, and your world is a little bit stuck no matter how hard your character desires to try. Your character is going on a hamster wheel that you didn't create. The hamster wheel is kind of a trick that's been offered to you through the collective unconscious and society. And so going through these motions and going through these motions, but we don't comprehend how this game is played completely. A part of that trick is that you aren't playing the game of life when you're in that position, or anybody, me, anyone who's grown out of this, indigenous cultures, anybody. You're not playing the game of life. It's another inversion. The game of life is playing you, is providing you the feedback of what you're doing. It just seems like it's so vague and so harsh and so tough for you to get out of what's going on in the cyclical motion. How do I get the fuck out of these routines? It's like everything in life is these clouds that keep growing, growing, growing closer and closer and just keep me doing this thing that I don't want to do? The answer here that I'm proposing, I see at this moment, is you have the character of you, which nothing good or bad about that. That's how it is. You have the character of you that life is playing. Life is playing you via your character. To control it, step into the aware. You step into the aware, breath first, in my opinion, and then meditation, and then a constant repetition. It doesn't matter how much it takes. It's like, would it matter if it took 30 years? It's like you either do it or you don't. The more pressure we put on ourselves, the harder it is, and the more restrictive every single step is, so we don't get as far. If we just surrender, then we don't have anything holding us. If we surrender and we let go of everything, we forgive everything, and we get in tune with our heart, now we have great desire and nothing holding us. And so the aware can begin to repetitively program the individual character to remember, hold the attention of the heart. Remember, hold the attention of the mind on the attention of the heart. Remember, act toward that one thing. And we just keep doing it and we keep doing it and we keep doing it. Sooner or later, we are magnetized to that thing and it's coming to us. So, an example of how things can get sideways, it's very subtle, but poor nutrition. And I'm not preaching. I've been the cleanest eater I've ever met, and I've been the most debaucherous eater I've ever met. It's, I've eaten Cheetos and cookie dough ice cream for a week straight and just drink beer. There's no judgment. That doesn't work. It doesn't do anything. But I've noticed, and it's pretty obvious to me, that poor nutrition, especially petroleum and chemical-based food additives with petroleum, ethanol, and chemical-based food additives and or pills, change your vibration. You will just look at that for yourself. Don't look at it like these big companies, corporations are bad. Who fucking cares? Just watch the actual cause and effect of the physicality, because very little of anything is actually caused in the front effect of this world. The density is all caused within. However, whatever within is allowing the individual, which is your vibration and your frequency and your resonance, allowing the individual to take in information, and information can also be food products, that is a detriment to your desire of a higher frequency. Where's that cause coming from? Most of that is just repetitive in your unconscious. It's been offered to your unconscious and you didn't want to fight it away because it seems seems a little judgy to want to say no to everything all the time. Just take it easy. Eat shitty food. Okay. But watch for yourself how poor nutrition, especially petroleum, ethanol, and chemical-based food additives and pills or pills, change your vibration. How do you feel after that? What are the decisions that you make in the next day, the next couple hours, the next couple even weeks, which over time changes your ability to access higher resonance? Your entire resonance is difficult to keep at a level that will allow you to manifest what you desire if you are creating a vibration that is not in tune with that. You're attempting to use your character I say you a lot. I mean me, I mean everybody. Um, the attempt is to use the character to create a resonance in which life is in line with the aware's purpose, our true purpose for us, our higher purpose. That is fulfillment. And yet is the character is caught in information flows from a collective unconscious and a society within that is unconsciously seeping in and then projecting out desires or just go along to get along or some type of mechanism that will create opportunities for us to make a decision. And if we're making decisions as the character, which means in default mode, that consistently create a different vibration than is in tune with our desired resonance, then our desired resonance is at arm's length. We can see it kind of, but we can't really live it. And a big way of feeling that is when you let yourself down. How often do you keep your word to yourself? Living in a lower resonance makes it easier to not have the energy to exercise, which feeds into being an easier to control information slave. So everything kind of snowballs off another thing. We have a little bit of poor nutrition. This isn't a get ripped and rich speech. It's an easy observation. A little bit of poor nutrition, a little bit of hanging out with other folks that aren't necessarily of the resonance in which you desire. And so your vibration is you desire it to be like this. You desire it to be of that resonance that you're attempting to focus on. But you're overriding a focus, and it's mostly just self-conscious, not super conscious, not unconscious, definitely not lower unconscious. And so you're fighting trying to put the right information that you're forcing from your self-conscious into your subconscious and project it out. But your superconscious basically is not involved. You can call the superconscious stepping into the aware. Your unconscious is already programmed, and that's what you're trying to overcome. But you're not really getting into reprogramming it. You can slowly do that with repetition of the self-conscious, but it's going to take a lot. And your lower unconscious isn't even being touched. And that's what you feel this fight is. It's like I'm doing so much of this, but you're not getting into this. And so this is dripping down still. And most of what is going out is still the same routine of what's been happening for a long time. And eventually that shit wears you down and you get tired. And you eat some pizza and you have some ice cream and you drink some wine. And there's nothing wrong with any of this, but you slip into default mode and you just kind of forget to keep going on the absolute requirement of building your life's resonance. And so when you're separated and you're into your aware, you see it all and you're not judging. You're like, okay. But when you go into that default mode and you go through that process and you're what would be termed a lower frequency, then you feel like you just need a break. You just need to stop for a little bit. Well, maybe just stop for a little bit. Maybe that's it. Maybe just fast. Don't do anything. Maybe just stop thinking. Maybe just go sit in the grass. Maybe do something that is extremely energizing but very subtle. That's basically always be outside, be in the sun, be in the moon, look at the stars, let yourself hear a story coming in from nature, but don't overthink it, don't overtry it. Maybe you don't even need to communicate with anybody for a day or two. Just if you need a reset, then reset. Watching a bunch of movies is not a reset. It's just taking in more story. That is one story over and over and over. And the one story is always you're not enough, you're not enough, you're not enough, you're the hero, and you're like, oh yeah, I got those feelings. I got the feelings. I'm not enough, I'm not enough, I'm not enough. I'm the hero. Ah, everything's good. And what did you actually do in your life? So this place is feeding back your energy to you so you can realize what you are capable of. And what you're capable of is expanding your belief structure. So if we eat poor food, then that's not even really food, but petroleum and ethanol and chemical based products or medical or any information of that ilk, then it's placating us to stay on a frequency that we actually desire to free ourselves of. And very, very few in this lifetime I'm aware of have not been inundated with that frequency. So I don't look at it as there's anything wrong with it. I literally just look at it as this place is feeding back your energy to you so you can realize what you're capable of. If that doesn't feel good to you for long enough and you need a break from it, then give yourself a break from it. But remember, I have the ability to step into the aware, and I don't need to go back to that. I don't need to judge myself or anybody else who's, you know, whatever, eating a bunch of cookies from the gas station. Doesn't matter. I've eaten oatmeal cream pies more than my fair share, but that's damn sure not going to get me to where I desire to go. So it's easy when you make it easy. When you're really tight inside, it's really hard to make things easy for yourself because it seems like there's so many things. Breathe. Another example I'd like to give is what is oil? When we were little, school said oil is a fossil fuel, and probably a lot of people still think that. To me, that's just absolutely comical. I mean, it has been for a long time. 10 years ago, I just thought about on my own for a second. It's like, seems like there's a lot of oil. Seems like there's always been a lot of oil. And so it all comes from fossils. How many fossils does it take to make one drop of oil? And that shit doesn't add up at all. But I didn't stress over it too much, but over the years, things kind of come to me, and I just had this intuitive awareness that could be accurate, could not be. That's how I see it. Oil is a substance of energy harmonic balancing under our lands and oceans. So, as the blood and the other phases of water in our body is literally sending information and magnetic electric um, movement through this magical body so we can as spirits interact with this magical place in a very similar way. Oil is moving high volume etheric energy underneath the what's considered to be earth land and earth water ocean. And if you look closely, oil and certain mineral mining is almost always connected to locations of where great ancient wisdom was said to be. In South America, in certain parts of North America, obviously the Middle East is Ukraine. Russia, the Caucasus Mountains, is Tibet. There's high qualities of certain minerals, and lots of times there's an overlay of a high focus of oil. So the more oil is pulled out, decreases the energy flow of that location under the surface. And that's what's a lot of people consider ley lines. I don't want to say exactly ley lines. It's just that there's literal flow of energy, just like there is in your body, in this realm. And it's not all in the air. A lot of it is underground and under the oceans. It's not just in the sand. It's not just in the water. Yes, that carries its own energy as well. But in my opinion, oil and minerals flow energy to a great degree. And that energy strongly affects the awareness and the capability of the human spirit that is embodied and living amongst and operating within a frequency in that civilization. So, oil and mining minerals are closely tied with ancient sites of vibrational wisdom. Pulling the oil out decreases the energy flow of that location. The entire realm is meant to flow together. The inverse of that is you take the oil out of certain locations and it slows or it drips down or completely stops the flow in certain areas. So the earth itself doesn't matter the shape or how it functions or what's actually going on here. It's no matter what anybody thinks, there's energy flowing here. And you pull out oil from the natural flow and minerals from the natural flow, you are separating how it is meant to flow together. To me, it's the opposite of what Great Pyramids are in China, in Russia, in Egypt, in South America. It's the opposite of what the mound builders are. It's the opposite of basically every ancient civilization. They are proliferating the abundance of energy to be projected out through the working of human consciousness with the energy that's already here. They're building the energy. And the industrial perspective has been to take away that energy and it dumps down the people. I think there's a strong correlation between dumbing down the resonance of the collective unconscious and literally it's called strip mining, stripping the minerals and then pumping out the oil, which flows. So if you start to deplete the body of the proper minerals, then you start to deplete the body of the ability to have clean and high volume blood. Look at the earth. That's it. And I think that's changing. I know that's changing, so I'm not worried about it. It's not a good or bad thing. I'm just getting to a point. The inverse of having the energy flow smoothly the way it should and have peaks in certain areas and having those areas be embraced as energy centers. The opposite of that is obviously stopping it is one step, and then the other is when you pull those minerals out, when you pull that oil out, that blood, that other phase of water that transmutes energy. You use those two things to create junk of byproducts, which harms the energy flow and clogs up the lives of information slaves. And now you can put the third part on there and say, no, it's all for big oil. It's all for money. Listen to your heart. So what your heart says. Nothing's for money, pal. Nothing's ever been for money. There's nothing wrong with money. Nothing right about money. Money is just an exchange of human equity. Human equity is your time and your energy and what you do with it. There are some groups that have manipulated things to a certain degree. The more folks go around pointing fingers and hating those groups, the more they don't understand, they feel oppressed. Those groups have their purpose. It's not better or worse. They're basically playing their part, just like you're playing your part. But you're not fully playing your part unless you're sitting with and connecting and listening to and then becoming more and more of your aware. And if you become more of your aware, you become more of who you're meant to be. And as you become who you're meant to be, you have purpose. And then you can continually listen to your heart. You forgive everything. Forgive yourself. Listen to the imagination of your heart. And that will provide a singular guidance on where you should focus. And use your heart to hold that focus. Use your attention of your mind as the character and the aware to hold that focus of your attention on your heart's intention. And just stop paying attention to everything else. Because what you pay attention to grows. And you are building the magnificent events of this life. And the more you pay attention to things like who's controlling everything, the more you allow them to control you. And they can't control you. Everything is an offer. Everything is an opportunity. There is no death, merely opportunities before. You are perfect. You are divine. You are limitless. You are unending energy. You are the all. And you are here with this incredible opportunity to live a life of density in an embodiment of this gift of a body. It's not yours. It's a gift of this place to you so that you can interact with this place, so you can feel the effect of the cause. And there's delayed gratification. So the more you layer your awareness, step into the aware, and then remember who you are, completely repeat who you are to your character, so your character starts to magnetize themselves to that truth, because the character only feels a certain way because the collective unconscious has smashed in information, told it it's not enough its whole life. And then you repeat who you actually are to the character. The more you see yourself as the character actually believing. And when you begin to actually believe what you already know to be true, but so far deep inside you, the lower unconscious and beyond the lower unconscious, your belief structure is hidden away. And it's been inundated with you are small. When you begin to believe what you really are, there's no feeling like that. And then you have the power to attempt, just with your pinky toe, just attempt. I'm going to attempt to expand this belief structure. And in my opinion, that's what all the synchronicities are about. They're telling you, keep going. Keep going. Here's some more droplets for you. Just keep going. Keep being the aware. Keep being the greatest you. Keep repeating to yourself what is true about you. The judgment holds you down. Pointing fingers holds you down. Being angry holds you down. I'm not against violence. I'm just not going to continually repeat to myself anymore that there's any problem that I should be focusing on beyond building my resonance. Because if there's something that's going to make me vibrate like this, all funky, my desire from my core heart has told me 500 times to vibrate like this, then no matter what it is, no matter what justification it is, if it gets me to vibrate like this, that's the fucking enemy. And it's in me. So these little decisions that we make on a daily basis truly affect our vibration. And we feel proud, or we feel a bit ashamed, or we feel like we're just completely underwater and exhausted. And when we feel those ways, we tend to do things out of order and just go along with the information sect of society because we're being led at that point because we just don't feel like we're in control of our own life. And we still have these desires to build something greater, but we don't know how we're going to get there. If you pay attention to that very closely, you can feel that your resonance is separate from what you desire it to be. How you get back to that is you just stop and breathe. Remember, I am the aware. There's a character, Judd, but really, I'm divine limitless spirit energy. I have the opportunity of being in this place, an opportunity to see this character grow. I have this opportunity to begin to dictate what this character puts its attention on. The more I as awareness am in complete control of what the character focuses on, the more the character and the awareness and this life here are living in unison. And this life begins to just throw things at you and provide you the feedback of yes, 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 this is it. And the more the character is separate from the awareness and is completely being inundated with collective unconscious information of society in this time between times that we live in, which is can be considered to be tough, confusing. Then the more the individual as the character feels, it can tell this doesn't feel right. How do I get back? This doesn't feel right. And you know what's funny is the more the awareness and the character work together in unison and this place starts to provide all these magical things, sometimes it feels a little overwhelming to the character. It's like too much good stuff. I found the answer is always just to go back to the awareness and breathe over and over and over. Less reaction, more gratitude, naturally. Less reaction and more gratitude. Living in that place is a place of frequency where anything is possible. So at that point, focusing our heart and our mind, so our intention and our attention, in the frequency, less reaction and more gratitude, opens up the directive for us to go with that intention and create very seamlessly, very easy, that resonance for that intention. And naturally, we would be a little bit more in tune with just staying closer to the awareness. And the character will be in slightly less internal tight fight. Give it a try. The character itself is a gift to you as well. The mind is not the enemy, it's beautiful. What you pay attention to, you get more of. Embrace the mind with gratitude. Ego is not the enemy. It's helped you get here. It will keep helping you. Just allow it to serve you. Give it something to do. Work out. It's trying to keep you safe. The character is playing its exact role. It's just most folks aren't giving it the proper space from the collective unconscious and the proper information feed. Just reset for a little bit. Breathe. Attempt to receive your information and trust yourself by going into the aware. You already know everything. You've already been gifted everything. What is true for the best possible solution in your life, that of what you can receive and what you can give to everything else here, it's already in you. It's just not in the character. It's in the aware. You want to be the best you, become aware of yourself, and then repeat. I love you. Primum Vultus Interior.